No, yeah, if you click on that video, it should be good. You should be able to see the comments from everyone. So we're live now. We're actually live now, Brad.
Okay.
Thanks to everyone who's tuning in. And thanks to Brad for dropping by. I think, well, I don't know when you found my channel, when you actually came across in my videos.
I started finding your channels about 3 months ago.
Right.
That's when I started.
It's always curious from my end how people find, you know, someone's YouTube channel. So for anyone watching, firstly, thanks for dropping by. This is a live stream. Brad has kindly dropped by, and Brad is going to speak about shared masternodes, and he's also going to touch upon Acorn Accelerators and FPGAs and things like that. So we were talking about this before. They were just talking about there, Brad. Obviously it's a live stream. We're going to get some comments, and in the past, what I've did is I've spoke with, you know, we've taken some questions at the end, but we'll maybe try and take some questions actively during the stream. I'll just check to see I'll double check everything's okay. I think you are live, right? Okay. I think the stream health is okay. Oh, one of those annoying things when you stream, you have to check everything's working okay. It should be okay now. Yeah, it should be fine. Right. So you said, oh, it said my.
Hey, I've lost you.
Yeah, it said my internet connection is unstable, which is terrible timing on my part. Is that better now? Is that better? Yeah, I think I'm okay now.
Okay.
Apologise for that. You can't plan for these things when you're doing a live stream. Right, so you sent me a presentation. I can show people those images just when you tell me that you're talking about a particular website. So,
sure. If you just want to step through the four, guys, I've been mining now since the beginning of the year, or actually end of last year. I have 18 GPUs. It's 3 systems downstairs. I've looked to expand, but of course GPUs got out of price.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, yeah, they did.
Yeah, I had to pull back. Right now, I can tell you my systems, I'm running half of my GPUs or cover my CapEx. So I cash out half of what I mine every day to pay for my electric bill.
Yeah.
Right. So the other half is mining shared masternode or coins that would go into a shared masternode.
This is something that I explored last week, and it's something I'm really curious about. This is why I was so interested when you suggested coming on and speaking. I've not actually did this yet. I'm saving up some coins. I think it's basically what you do. You mine some coins for a masternode or a shared masternode, and then you move on to the next coin, or you look for other coins that you can mine.
That's correct.
You've seen quite a few different links here. Do you want me to go through the ones that you sent me?
Sure. Okay? Let's go through the first 4 slides are the ones that are shared masternodes that I actually have coins in them, and I'll give you the pluses and minuses of each one, and then I would recommend everybody checking out for themselves each service. Each one has a Discord.
Yeah.
Right. Go in, see if you like them. See, and you can tell when you go into Discord. Just even as a watcher to see how interactive they are. I would call all of them being good services. Just each one has its different, little quirks about them.
Yep.
All right.
Well, if I jump over to the presentation that you sent me, so thanks for preparing this. I do appreciate you taking the time to do that. The first one you've got here is Crypto Hash Tank.
Crypto Hash Tank.
So we've got Crypto Hash Tank. We've got mynode.rocks. We've got PickAxe. And then I think that's talking about the Acorn Accelerators after that. So we've got PickAxe. Right. Oh, sorry, I missed one. Masternodes.alttank. So
that's correct. So if you do the Crypto Hash Tank,
yep.
All right. They started just in Discord, right? They developed a website. They're very easy to do a coin. You only need one coin, right? So if you have one
no minimum, coin, no, that's the minimum, just one coin.
Just one coin is the minimum, all right? Which makes it very easy for a small miner to, mine a couple coins, drop them in immediately. You go to the website, you just do a deposit. It's quick, it's simple. The only issue I have with the site is actually, if you want to get your coins out, right? It's going to take a few days, right?
Right.
They pay on Sunday. I've actually seen them pay early on early coins. So if it's just a first very early masternode, they'll pay 2 or 3 times a week. All right. But again, you have to wait. I have a withdrawal now, and it looks like it's going to be 5 days for me to get my coins back.
Right.
All right. Which is okay. I knew that going in. All right. So I'm totally fine with that. It's in their T's.
Are they doing withdrawals manually? Is that why they do that and just try and handle everything in a one day?
Their withdrawal is a manual process. All right. So as long as you know going in that if you do business with crypto's hashtag, that it might take a few days, especially if they have to shut down a masternode. They're waiting for people to deposit coins so they don't have to shut it down.
This is the awkward thing with shared masternodes, because if someone withdraws, it could take someone below the limit of a masternode, and then they've got like half a masternode. Or
that's correct.
Yeah, it's
right?
kind
of so they say they can take up to 7 days to pay you, right? Which is, again, knowing that going in, right? Just don't be upset that, hey, they didn't send me back my coins the same day.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's quite an interesting website. The one that I looked at before, I don't know if you saw the video I did about Equipool. They don't really have a website. They've just got Google spreadsheets and just showing you deposits in and out. But this one looks like it's quite well done the way they've got it done, with all the coins listed. You can view it. You can see. I like how they've got a bar there to see the next node is 56% full. So you can see all the members, the masternodes, 556 masternodes. That's insane. It's really impressive. See with regards to, for every coin there, it shows you the active masternodes, it shows you the members, the coins held, the next node. See, as far as the next node goes, does that influence, do you have to wait? If you deposit your coins, you have to wait until it's 100%? Is that how they work it? Right, okay. Does that cause any kind of weird situation sometimes, as far as, everyone's kind of hesitant at when they don't want to deposit when it's at 1% or 5%, and then when it gets to 50, everyone tries to jump in?
Well, if you're following each coin has their own discussion on the Discord.
Yep.
And you can see how many members are active, saying, "Hey, I'm mining it now." All right, and people ask, "Hey, is anybody still mining this coin?"
Yeah.
Okay? So you'll find out how quickly is that one actually going to fill. They had some problems with the ETH hash coins. They got 2 of them listed there.
Yeah, they've got Ethereum Future.
Ether one is one of them. You notice how they have the deposit crossed out.
Yep, and I can see that down there.
And they started a couple of them up, but what they found was it's really a manual process for the Ethereum coins or Ethash coins to get paid out. Right. So I can understand it's not like a couple clicks and, they pay everybody. It just seems to be a really, really hard process on their end.
Yeah.
To pay those out.
There is quite a good variety of coins though when you look at it. There's lots of different coins. That I think there's, without being too cheesy, there's something for everyone. You know, it's not like you're being forced to mine one of 2 or 3 coins.
Sure. And I have coins in 7 of them.
Right.
All right. So 7 of them there. I have different coins in. All right.
So what's your strategy with this? Now we were talking. So there was a comment there. Terry, please ignore my ignorance, but who's Brad Cahoon? Brad is just a viewer, a subscriber, who was kind enough to drop by, and he's did a presentation. He's showed us different websites to show. So yeah, Brad, you probably should have a YouTube channel, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess I should, but yeah, I'm just a miner out there, sharing my experiences of what I've had with different Masternode and shared Masternode coins, right? So
no, it's interesting because this is an area where I've Joe said he was Googling you there.
You'll find me on Google. You'll see my LinkedIn site. You'll find out what I really do for a living.
Don't go too deep into the rabbit hole, guys. No, it's good. I find this interesting because I was initially a little bit discouraged simply because the idea of sending coins to someone that obviously you don't know, but there's obviously I'm a little bit encouraged by the fact there's a lot of these services, and it really wouldn't be in their interest to just run away because they make more money by running an efficient service. Going back to what we were saying before, I've actually been mining Ether 1 the last few days. I'm saving up a few coins to get a Masternode or a shared Masternode. What's your strategy with this? Like, so say you get a new coin and say the requirement is 5,000 or 10,000 coins. I know you say that you only have to deposit 1, but what's your thinking? Do you like to get a few hundred? Do you like to get 1,000? Do you like to get as much as you can get in there?
I like to try to get 10% of a Masternode.
Right, 10%. Right.
Right, is my target. I got a personal feeling about how crypto is changing for GPU miners.
Yep.
I don't know if I really feel comfortable where I think GPU mining's going compared to getting ASIC miners.
Yep.
That's a totally different subject matter. I will say that going forward, I will only be mining Ethereum-based or ETH coins.
Right. So 8 hash coins or 8 hash coins with masternodes, or
I'm doing Ethereum Classic to pay for my CapEx, to pay for my electric, and then everything else is shared Masternode coins. Yeah,
right.
Ether 1 is being one of them. Pearl is another one.
Right.
All right. So
essentially,
right now,
I noticed that recently as well, that Ethereum and Ethereum Classic are nearly always one of the top 2 or 3 coins from a what to mine basis as far as what you should mine and cash out.
That's right. And there's a website that you can actually go to. I'm going to do on my back monitors here, but it actually shows you which Ethash coin is the most profitable.
Yep.
All right. And it's a pool, and they're showing you the most profitable coin. Well, a couple of them are, the Masternode coins, or ones that I can go to stock exchange.
Yeah.
Go to the exchange and exchange for Masternode coins that I want to purchase.
Are you cashing out, see when you're saying cashing out for electricity, go back to what you're saying there. Are you cashing out every single day, or do you prefer to wait a few days, or?
So for my CapEx, I put on, I get what I need every day, and it goes to Coinbase, right? And I do an exchange every day, or at least I post an exchange every day.
Yeah. On
Coinbase. And that covers my electricity every single day, so my wife doesn't go downstairs and pull the plug.
Very smart move in your end.
I got it set so it actually gives me a little bit more than what I need, but it keeps the wife off your back, and I get to play around with the rest of it. Right.
Well, long term as well, this strategy could be very profitable as well. And you know, like going back to what you were saying there about GPUs, I'm kind of feeling the same way about that you're saying. People kept asking me, like, you know, is it time to sell? Is it time to buy? There's a lot of people with the prices of GPUs going down. A lot of people are snapping up GPUs. But if I had a few $1,000s, would I buy an ASIC miner? Would I buy used GPUs? Or would I just buy, you know, put money into masternodes? The problem with masternodes obviously is there's no guarantee in price. You know, a coin can crash. This is where you have to do your homework. But the idea of making the same money from masternodes, and you know, I don't have to be tied to the house, I don't have to do maintenance, I don't have to worry about prices and things like that, it is appealing to me, and I can see why a lot of people are going that direction.
Yeah, that's right. And I look at it in the same way, because I think this week when I got my coins from my other shared masternode, and basically what I did is I took everything that I made in my shared masternodes, took it to Crypto Bridge, sold it, went and bought some Pearl, and you know, got a seat with PickAxe on Pearl.
Right.
Right. So they have a shared masternode. They do it a little bit differently. They actually have a minimum requirement, and we'll get to them, but they have a minimum requirement of how many coins for a seat. And I just go in and I cashed out what I got myself a seat in a different one. So it's not like I'm only selling the coins of ones that are paying out that I can take to Crypto Bridge, and then I'm buying, you know, take that Bitcoin, I transfer it over, and I buy, you know, the ones that I want to grab seats of.
Right. Terry was just asking a question there. I find it hard to pick a coin for a masternode, as most coins are just depreciating and will be constantly chasing up how to break even, let alone be past return on investment of initial investment. I think the kind of pump and dump coins and the ones that pre-sold masternodes are more liable to do that, whereas the other ones aren't.
And Terry is right on cue. There is so many junk coins out there, and I'll be honest, there's two of them that I jumped in saying, "Oh, this is going to be a great one." No, it ended up being junk.
Yeah.
All right.
So do you have an overall strategy with that, as far as, you know, you say, like, for example, you were saying there, you cashed out some funds from masternodes, assuming you left your initial capital in. Do you have ones and you go, this one's solid, like you talked about Pearl, this one's solid?
And actually, I've gotten it down to I'm only buying into 4.
Right.
Right. And I'll throw out 2 of them. I think Pearl is going to be a long play.
Yep.
Right. And I think Zencash, for a super node or a secure node, is a long-term play.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so as well. Zencash is one of my favorite projects.
Yeah, they might not be paying us 1,000%. You know?
But the thing is with 1,000% is that it can't be sustained. It can't be.
That's right. And I think those 2 projects seem to be good projects for me moving forward. Ether 1 seems to be one, Pearl, Zencash, and there's one other Ethash masternode that I'm investing in.
Yeah.
Not to say that there's other ones out there. Jin might be a good one, but you know, I'm not going to promote which ones it should go into, but that's what I'm going for. I'm going for ones that have long-term. I mean, Pearl's coming up on a year old. Zencash is much older.
I think it's about 2 years.
I think it's about a year, right? So they seem to be secure, decent price points. All right. I mean, they're down right now, but you know, let's face it.
Yeah, everything is, yeah.
Right. Right. So I feel secure with the, you know, especially Zencash, that they have a payment plan. It's, you know, it's not huge, but you can't go to a bank and get that kind of money.
Yeah.
As a percentage.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. I think a lot of people are chasing these fast, you see it on Bitcoin Talk, and I've actually seen some of these white papers that actually guarantee your break even in 2 weeks, and you're like, well, this price is going to dump because that's not sustainable, because it's almost like it's like a pyramid scheme at that point. People are put off. Some people are put off with Zencash because of that slow return, but I think if you think long term, what you're saying is correct, because long term, there's a very high chance that coins like Pearl and Zencash will go up to, they'll double in price, treble in price. And that's the thing. You can't just look at the ROI and the number of coins you get back. You need to consider the price and the future price and what you think it will be. Obviously, there's a lot of unknown factors in there as well, though. But is that your strategy moving forward now? Are you trying to cash out some of the coins that you took risks on and then migrate them to Pearl and Zencash?
I'm only cashing out what they're paying me. So right. I'm still...
So you're keeping the initial investment in?
Yeah, I'm keeping the original investment where they are.
Yeah.
And then I'm cashing out what they're paying me, and I'm investing that into what I'm going to call a little more secured, done my homework, got stepped on a couple times by a couple projects.
Yeah.
Saying, I know Zencash is not going to go away tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
oh yeah, yeah, they're huge. They're a big project. They've got a big team. They've got good connections.
Yeah, and I'm not going after the huge investment, but I can see them being a long-term play.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what would be a warning for you that, obviously you're keeping your initial investment in and you're cashing out the rest. What would be a warning to you? Right, I should really withdraw my initial funds. What would, is a price drop from, going down 50% enough to make people panic, or do you just leave it? Or
lack of communication from the devs, right? I mean, as soon as you see the devs not answering on Discord,
yeah,
or not talking on Discord, there's an issue.
Yeah.
And they don't have to talk every day, but at least once a week or twice a week.
Yeah, right? And I think this extends to other areas such as Twitter, Facebook, the blog, all these other things. You need to give people feedback as to what's happening in the background.
And I think you pointed it out that I will not mine a coin today that I can't put a face to the coin.
Yep.
Right? If there's no face to the coin, then there's no reason for me to jump in.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. And I think, when I did that video, I actually thought I would get a little bit more of a fight against that idea. But a lot of people seem to be thinking the same way. Like, the fact is, if you've got a face on a website, it doesn't mean it's a scam. It doesn't mean that. But there's so many scams that are anonymous. And this is why, for me, I do believe in privacy. I do believe in coins being anonymous. But when you're mining coins, people don't look at miners as investors. But you are. If you mine a coin for a week and you could have cashed in for $200 or whatever, and you used it to get coins, then you're just the same as someone who bought the coins. You've mined those coins, and I think that a lot of these projects, there's a lot of projects asking people to take too much risk and giving out no information. I don't know if you saw the video I did last night. I did a video. It was about an open source coin. Did you see that one?
Yes.
I think that's a kind of grey area. I know I'm maybe going off a little bit off topic, but I think it's a little bit of a grey area with open source ones where there's a community coin and all that. But at the same time, I don't know. And in the cryptocurrency world, there's so many exit scams. There's so many people abandoning projects or jumping. They lead developers in one project, then he jumps to another, and he jumps to another. I think it does give me some sort of I don't know. Maybe if it's fake, but it makes you feel a little bit better when you can put a face to a project, when you know that the people are responsive and that you can get some sort of feedback from it.
Yeah. So me moving forward, I would not. This is just my criteria. Everybody can have their own opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm only investing in masternodes that have a face.
Yeah.
Just like if I won't mine the coin, then there's no reason for me to invest in the coin.
Yeah.
Right. Because I agree with you. I mean, I run my mining operation. I think I've said this to you in Discord, is I have an LLC, right? I have a permit from the city to run the operation, right? I have a business license in the city, right? So I don't hold back that, hey, I'm trying to do everything legit.
Yeah.
And if you want me to invest my time and my materials and everything else into your currency, or mine your, or hold a stake in it, that's a bigger one.
Yeah.
You want me to mine it, then you want me to hold a shared masternode or a masternode. It becomes a partnership.
Yeah.
Right. And I should be able to have a face and a name. I'm not that active on Discord. I post every now and then, but having a face and a name to somebody is important, especially if you're putting money to them. It's trust, in my opinion.
Yeah, right? And in the cryptocurrency world as well, trust is something that perhaps is abused a little bit. And I mean, I've seen the counter argument to that is that you look at the code, you look at the blockchain, but for me, it's so much easier to abandon a project and not fulfill the promises on a roadmap when when there's no face to the name.
And I'm all about privacy too. Trust me, I have family that live in Europe, and I love to send them Bitcoin private. That nobody needs to know. I know when I send them regular money through the bank, they have to pay taxes on it.
Yep. And very high transfer fees and poor exchange rates. And
and that's when I saw cryptocurrency as the right thing for people to be doing.
Yeah.
Right. Just because I have relatives in Europe, I can send them, Bitcoin private. It's nobody knows it was me. They have it. They can cash it in. They didn't have to pay all those high taxes. All right. So I see this as the right thing as a global look, not just as a personal look. But again, that's kind of off topic, but it's good to have.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that. And I do appreciate that some people feel differently. And I do appreciate that some developers simply don't want their face out there because of safety, privacy, or whatever. But 100% agree. I do think they have a right. I didn't want anyone, I'm sure that you're the same. If a developer wants to remain anonymous, they don't want anyone to find out who they are. More power to you. It is your choice, and it should always be your choice. But my choice as an investor, as a miner, well, I'm going to go the safe route, because there's so much risk involved in everything else anyway. Why not pick the safe route rather than... And there's always an element of risk, of course there is, but I don't know, maybe it's just a comfort blanket, when you see people, but it does go a long way. It does go a long way.
I still have to pay that power bill every month.
Yeah.
And trust me, she's looking. She watches my spreadsheet just like anybody else's, right?
Do you want to jump on to the...
Let's move on to the next one.
Yep.
Which is
I
have it as Masternodes rocks.
I'll share it in the comment area. So this is the website that Brad is talking about, mynode.rocks. I'll after this video is streamed, I will put a link to all these websites underneath.
Yep. And Masternodes rocks is awesome.
Is this one of your favorite ones?
It is one of my favorite ones. The site works awesome. You can get if they have coins in the queue, you can get your coins out in the same day. I mean, within minutes. So
if it's not in a masternode, you can withdraw right away.
You can if it's not, or if it's in a masternode and they have other coins in the queue, where other people,
there'll be like a swap.
They'll swap it out immediately.
Oh, that's really good.
Like within seconds. I mean, I can sit on there and get my coins out within seconds if there's other people wanting to get in.
So I'm just looking at the website here, and it's going over the same features you're saying there. Don't have enough for a masternode. You can have seats in more than one coin's masternode. Instant payout. Fee is 1 to 10%. Cold wallet setup if a wallet supports it. Transaction history, referral system as well.
And when they say instant payout, they mean as soon as they get their shares or get their coins, right? It goes through the confirmation process, and you get your coins. I mean, it's instantaneous. All right, it's a great website. My problem with them is they don't have the coins that I want to put in. Right. They've been picking and choosing their projects that they want to support, and it just hasn't been my projects.
Yep. So they say that the fee is between 1 to 10%, and I believe, is it listed here? So I'm going to show them the shared Masternode page. I'll show that just now to everyone. You'll be able to see it on your computer as well. There's a list of different coins here: Bitcoin Green, Desire. Yeah, there's a lot of them that are perhaps a little bit less known. LuxCore is probably one of the main ones that I know from there. Zoin is quite a big one. I think I've seen quite a lot as well. GoByte. But there's a lot of kind of newer coins there as well. It's quite good how it shows you coins in queue required for next Masternode pending for return.
That's right. And again, if they have coins in queue, you can go in and take out your coins and they just swap them out immediately. And it's all done on a website. You got to log in. They do use two-factor authentication.
Oh, that's good. So they use 2FA
right? So
to detect.
They're a little more secure.
Yeah.
The last one that we showed,
the
crypto hashtag.
Yep.
Right. You actually have to do the withdrawal, and then you have to send them a direct message. Right.
So it's more, less automated and more kind of like you have to go in and
yes, and it's more manual, right? They're a little more manual, right? The next one's you can
mine knows everything through the dashboard area, everything through the website.
That's right. That's right. But they made it secure, so not everybody can just log in and see what you have and take your coins. It's a very secure website.
See on the website it says that fees are between 1 and 10%. Is that dependent on which coin it is, or is it?
That's right, and the cost of the coin.
Right. Okay. So what's the general fee across all the different services? Is it quite mixed?
I've seen everything about 5%.
Right. Okay.
4 or 5% is what they're taking out, and what they're doing is just covering their cost of the servers.
Yep. It's interesting though with regards to fees. When I spoke to Bishoy from Equipool, he's got a kind of shared Masternode service. That's mainly through Google Sheets and spreadsheets. But one of the things I say to him was that I do want Masternodes, but the more I think about it, an automated kind of hosted shared Masternode service is worth a few % of the profits, because I don't have to have a VPS. I don't have to, Zencash, for example, I've seen a lot of people talk about how technical it is and how difficult it is to get set up. Even people that have got technical experience have said it's a little bit tricky. So for me, I think a lot of people that are busy, a couple of % to someone else for handling all that side of it makes a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense. So,
and I don't want that hassle. I got enough problems keeping all my GPU running.
You summed that up so much better than I did there. I don't want that hassle.
Yeah, who wants the hassle there, right? Some of these guys are very professional. They know what they're doing. They're in IT. They run servers.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
They make it look simple. That, to me, I don't want to spend the time to figure it out.
Yeah, it does make sense, because there's going to be a lot of technical things, and you could spend every single day asking questions about, oh, do I need to restart it? What's wrong? Did I put this configuration wrong? You can leave it to people who know what they're doing. Now, I do think there's still a lot to be said about controlling your own masternode if you've got a lot of coins. But, the more I look into these shared masternode services, the more that people say, don't trust this one, but this one's legit. I've had, been using it for several months. The more it's attractive to me, and it is really making me, I think a lot of people I've spoke to as well, just making me change my whole mining strategy. As far as I'll mine a coin for a few weeks, get enough for it, for a shared masternode, jump to another one, mine that for a few weeks, jump to another one, and then build up a portfolio of coins that I think 6 months or a year down the line, the price will be higher, but I'll also have many more coins.
Exactly. And again, especially if I'm putting them in Pearl, Zencash, these other ones, right? Ones that I feel really comfortable about, that, I was like everybody else. I jumped on and I don't want to call them shit coins, but that's what they were.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But now I'm refocusing, going, I wasted so much time going after those. Why don't I go for the bigger projects that I know are going to be around?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to be said about that, because I have taken a lot of risks this year as far as the coins I've mined. You could call them experiments. I've tested new coins, and then, you know, after a week or two, the project doesn't seem the way it was going, so I've sold the coins, I've bought something else and all that. And in hindsight, I've learned a lot. You know, I've learned a lot by looking at white papers and, you know, learning about different coins. But there's a lot to be said about just picking a couple of projects you really believe in, and that's what you do. You're not messing around. You're not spending all your time researching. You're going, these guys are good, I'm going to focus on these projects.
I will tell you, Zincash, I am not mining it.
Yep.
Right.
Well, that makes sense. They're still on 209, aren't they, in the ASIC miners?
The problem that they got into is I can mine Ethereum or Ethereum Classic and take that and then go buy Zincash. I mean, they got the Asics on the system right now.
Yeah.
All right. So it's just more profitable for me to go mine something else.
But Zencash, I think, they're on Binance now, and they're on most of the major exchanges, so sending Ethereum and cashing out in Zencash isn't very difficult.
That's right. That's right. Especially if, you know, two of these actually have, the next two actually have seats for Zencash. So you don't have to save up the 42 Zencash to get a secure node, or the 500 to get a super node. Well, right, they actually have shared.
With Zencash, you know, are most of these shared masternode services trying to get the super node rather than secure nodes? Are they trying to get the 500 coin?
So they're all listing secure nodes or super nodes, but actually, what I understood the other day was secure nodes are paying better. Right?
Really?
So I know one of them's actually doing the secure nodes and saving up for a super node.
Is that because the super nodes have been oversubscribed and people who had secure nodes have jumped to?
I think so. They're looking for a certain number of each one. All right, is what they're really looking for to be able to do what they want to do within their networks.
It's interesting though, because I'm sure most of you are aware of Zencash. They've got 70% to miners, and then it's 10 to secure nodes, 10 to super nodes, 10 to the treasury, or something like that. It's around that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the super node, in comparison, 500 coins against the 42 for secure nodes. In theory, if you've got 500 coins, it would make sense to go for the super nodes. But if you have too many people going for the super nodes, then you've got too many people fighting for that 10%. In comparison to the, I mean, I guess it shows you how much faith people have in the project, that people with secure nodes have been buying up to get the super node.
That's right. You know, if it's 500 coins at $20 a coin, you know, you're over $1,000 now in the project, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's something I hadn't even considered, because, you know, obviously because of a tiered masternode system, there will be certain situations like that which will arise. What's your thoughts on tiered masternode systems as a whole? Do you try and just go for the minimum, or do you prefer to always try and get the super node or the gold or whatever the highest tier is?
I don't. Depends on the project.
Right.
I don't have a feeling either way. You know, I know the Pearl one. We got the 20,000 in collateral, and I know the other ones everybody's going for the larger collateral super nodes, or you know, higher master nodes, right? Yeah,
and you're right, because some of the ones I've looked at, there isn't actually that much more incentive to go for the higher price one, because the returns, you know, you're paying triple the price, but you're not getting 3 times the returns. What's up, Kev? Any word on how the Econs will boost their GPUs? That's something we'll talk about later, Surfing. Something that Brad wants to talk about. Dyer saying Zencash secure node roughly earns 1.4 Zen per month, which is around $1 per day at current prices. That's quite a good return, though, I think.
Percentage-wise, that isn't great. I mean, it's not huge, but you know, at the same time is you know, I can't put that in the bank and get that kind of return.
But even if you look at it from a GPU mining point of view, like if I get a 1080 Ti, I might only get $1 per day, and after electricity, I might only be at 50 cents per day. So if I could technically sell my 1080 Ti or two and fund a secure node and make more money, don't have electricity costs, don't have anything like that, and it's all automated. No maintenance, no pools, no pools going down. You know,
that's actually funny. If you've been watching the guys on Discord, on the Zencash Discord, some of them bought an Asics, they mined it, and they just sold their Asics, and they're taking all that money and they're jumping it right back into Zencash to get a secure node, right? And they're like, you know, they got their ROI on their Asics, and now they're jumping out.
Yeah.
Right.
Smart move. So, in hindsight, you know, if I knew that was going to happen and they weren't going to change algorithm, I probably should have opted for a Z9 Mini. In hindsight.
In hindsight, yes. And will I ever get one? Maybe. Right. Yeah. But yeah, that's a long-term play. I don't know where that goes with crypto.
It's quite interesting though, because it's funny how over the last few months there's a whole ASIC versus GPU mining type thing, but no one looks at masternodes that way, you know, as far as, you know, unfair advantage or, you know, it's hurting. Or I think obviously with ASIC miners, with Equihash, is, you know, they come out with the returns that Z9 Mini can get when overclocked is insane. You know, it's like 16,000 souls overclocked. But I could see a lot of people that do mining maybe switching over to shared masternodes and masternodes. I'll jump over now. The next one that you've shared is called alttank.ca.
Yeah, and Alttank actually has their own pools, but they actually expanded into masternodes.
Right.
Also,
that's very interesting. So they've got pools for the masternodes that you want to mine to. They've got masternodes for the coins that you can mine.
Yeah, they have coins or a pool for some of the masternodes. Some of them they don't. All right, but you know, they offer both, and it's what their community wanted them to do. All right. If you go to the second page, this is if you hit the number 2 there at the bottom.
Yep, I've got it there. Right. So I can see vertical coins, Zencash, there's a few others there that I know.
All right, and there's the Zencash, and all they're asking for is one Zencash for a buy-in. Right, they're still far away from getting one, but you know, they do offer it.
So see what it says, like 336 remaining or whatever remaining. That means that's what they need to get to a secure node.
That's correct.
Supernode, sorry, a supernode. It would be in that one. Shared supernode, it says.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So, and your coins would just sit there until they meet the
requirement.
That's correct. I guess that goes back to what you were saying earlier, where you have to go into the Discord, you have to check what everyone else is mining, because you could be sending funds to a coin that everyone, you know, no one's interested in.
That's correct. And the best part is, hey, you put it in, it's sitting there for a couple weeks. All right. Yeah. After 7-10 days, you go on Discord, you find that nobody's doing anything. I've noticed on theirs, it's been sitting there for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's moving or not moving. I know that PickAxe, the next one, they already have one. They're already on their second one. All right. So they're definitely moving through on,
it's quite a weird situation because of the lower tiered secure node and then the higher tiered super node, because in theory what they should be doing with those coins right now is setting up a secure node right now. So
that's right.
The coins are just sitting there, you know, gathering dust or whatever. You know, it depends, because if they thought they can get to the 500 within a week, right, okay, that makes sense. But if it's going to be there for a month or so, you think, why don't you just start multiple secure nodes until you've got the collateral to start transferring coins from one to the other? But as I do appreciate from their point of view, it's difficult to manage these things because people are taking funds out, they're adding them, and and it changes what they're doing.
That's right. And if we move along to the next one is PickAxe.mn.
Yep. I'll just copy this over for everyone. Sorry, just to go back to the other one. See, Alt Tank, we touched upon payment and withdrawals on about the other two.
Okay, so payment is done through the website,
right?
The withdrawals, actually, I've never done a withdrawal with them. I do believe the withdrawal is still done on Discord.
Right. So it's kind of like the first one, the crypto hash tank, where it's all like through Discord saying, "Can I withdraw my coins to this address?" and that type of thing.
You know what? It's actually, now that you mentioned, now that I can go into their shop, you can actually manage your account through the alt tank. Yep. You can manage it, and I do believe you can also do the withdrawal, but it's still a manual process.
So that does it. Just when you ask for a withdrawal, is it more like it like opens a ticket type of thing?
Yeah, it opens up a ticket, and then you'll eventually see your coins come back to you.
Right. Okay. Right. That's interesting. So I'll post the other one. I think this is the last one that you were talking about, PickAxe.
The last one is PickAxe, and out of them, level of customer service, PickAxe ranks right up there on customer service. Right. You can go to the Discord, ask a question, and if you're not answered immediately, you'll get answered shortly. I mean, they're just that quick. I can tell you the last one I purchased through them. You do it, you add it to the cart. They send you an email, all right? Then they will send you another email that your request has been fulfilled. And basically what they're doing is making sure that they got their coins. And then they're saying, okay, you have a seat. Right. I like PickAxe. They have higher requirements for their seats. They do everything appears to be a manual process, right? But they are slowly moving in the same direction that I'm moving. I noticed that they're offering more Ethereum-based masternodes.
Yep.
I noticed that they made an announcement a couple of weeks ago that they were talking about offering Ethereum-based pools. I don't know it for a fact, but they're probably like me going, we got a bunch of junk coins out there. And if you're a pool operator, how do you make your money running pools?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So there's just noticing how fast their Pearl sold out. I mean, it sold out within a few days. Right.
But it's interesting you're saying that, because how do you manage a pool? Because we're talking about Zencash and like secure, it's a good project, but looking at the comments in Discord and Bitcoin Talk and all that, a lot of people are thinking the opposite way. The return is too low. I want to take more of a risk. I want to go with a coin that can give me a return of hundreds or thousands of %. Why should I put my coins, in a coin that's only giving me a little bit back every month? So what does a pool do? Does it try and satisfy the needs of someone like yourself who's trying the safer approach, or do they, they probably get most of their requests and most of the support tickets are, hey, add this coin, add this new coin. So it's kind of difficult because a new coin that does have a lot of hype, there's going to be a lot of demand for it, but fast forward 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you could have a lot of people start making withdrawals as well. So this is why they justify their 4 or 5%.
And I've seen them put on coins. Alps is one of them, and they recently took Alps off their website. Now, is it Alps still a nice project? It seems to be okay. They're still trying to develop, all right, but it's not on their pool anymore, and they're still running the shared masternodes of it.
Right.
So it's not like they totally abandoned the project. They just it wasn't paying the bills.
Yeah.
To have it on the pool.
That's something that we always forget about as well, because we had a discussion about this with SafeCoin a few weeks ago on a live stream, and someone pointed that out. Like, if you make the requirement too low, and then based on the current price, if the return isn't high enough, it might not even pay for a $5 VPS on a monthly basis. So
that's right.
Obviously you'd like to set up the requirement, set up all these other things, and forget about the price of the coin. The price of the coin shouldn't influence what happens. But at the end of the day, if you could simply, if you're actually going to lose money, if you're only making $4 a month from a coin and you're $5 for hosting it, then no one's going to do that. So yeah, it's
exactly. And PickAxe, as well as make sure I got Crypto Hash Tank, both have canceled a Masternode. That was my very first one. I stepped in it, didn't do enough research. I thought it was going to go someplace, and both of them, stopped running it because it wasn't. They couldn't charge me enough to pay for the VP.
Yeah, they'd have to charge you 50%. Yeah.
And I just recently sold everything I had on CryptoBridge and took all that money and put it in someplace better that I think that's going to be longer lasting. Now that I've stepped in it a couple times, when I say step in, I literally stepped in the shit, right? I mean, some of these coins didn't go anywhere. Some of these projects are still valid, right? I think there's a couple of them. I think Jin is a good long-term project that I have, a few coins in. All right. But again, I'm not mining Jin. I'm going back to the basics and grabbing some other things that I think can even be a longer-term play for me.
Yep. I've seen a lot of people. I think Jin was one of the first as far as, the way they handle masternodes. I think they influenced a lot of coins, because I saw a lot of coins being launched on Bitcoin Talk, and every time it was, a new coin was launched, they would say, oh, that's just a Jin copy, or that's just a Jin, imitation, or they just copied it. But looking on that one in Crypto Hash Tank, they've got 6 masternodes for that as well.
That's correct, and you can buy in with just one coin, right? And what they do is you buy into one, and then once they get them all synced, they do a pool, right? So you all pool together, and then they pay you out of that pool, right? So either all 5 or all 6, at least 5 of them are in a pool. Maybe the 6th one is in a pool.
Yep.
And it's collecting the coins, and then they pay you out of that pool of what your percentage of the pool is.
Yeah. So you don't have 10% of one masternode. You have like 5 or 4% of multiple masternodes, that kind of thing.
That's right.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of that was the way Bishoy was talking about setting up his setup. I think that makes more sense to do that.
I think it makes it easier. It means
everyone's treated fairly, I think.
And I think it's easier for them to manage. Right. Yeah. Let's face it. It's all about management of their time also.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, it must be difficult to set up an automated system, because it's not like there's an open source script for any of this. It's all custom coded, which is perhaps why some of them are doing it all manually. But manually is time consuming. It's a pain in the ass, which is why perhaps, I think it was Crypto Hash Tank you were talking about, that has the withdrawals on a Sunday rather than automated, just to get it all sorted by then.
That's right. And at least on Crypto Hash Tank, they're doing a Google spreadsheet for your withdrawal. Yeah. So you can see where you're in line. All right. You can see that how many withdrawals they have, and you can actually watch them go through one by one, getting the coins out. But mine is, I know my coins will be coming to me in a couple days. Yeah. I'm not, nothing moves fast anymore, right?
Well, to be honest, I did a withdrawal from Utopia, and it took 3 weeks, so a few days is actually quite fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So out of those ones, do you think PickAxe is your favorite So just to kind of go back to what you were saying, we've talked about Crypto Hash Tank, talked about MyNode Rocks, Alt Tank, and PickAxe. And you know, from what you're saying, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. Some are automated, some are not. You know, different varying levels of customer service, different levels of fees and all that as well.
That's right.
And also they have different coins. So you might have one that's the best service, but they don't have the coin that you want.
Yeah, if PickAxe had all the coins I wanted, yeah, I would throw everything at PickAxe.
Right. Okay. Right? So we have a winner here. What's their fees?
But unfortunately, they don't. And you know, if I had to rank them, MyNodes Rocks is easy to use.
Yep.
Right. But I also like Crypto Hash Tank. Right.
Yeah. But that's the thing, you know, that there's a lot of services out there. So you by the sounds of it, if you want to have your own strategy and not just rely on one website, you're going to have to look at these different services and say, well, that one's good for that project, that one's good for that project. I'm just looking at PickAxe here, and they've got LightPay Coin, they've got GoByte, Genesis X, Lux is a popular one, Infinix, 102, MCT, they've got a Zen Supernode there as well, they've got Mano, Moondex, Titanium, Jin. I know that a lot of those coins, I've looked at a lot of those before, and a lot of them were, you know, they were pre-selling masternodes and all that as well, which unfortunately is a large percentage of these masternode coins. See, as far as how you're managing everything, do you have like a spreadsheet where you just write everything down as far as I've got this amount of funds and this one, this coin with this service? Like, how do you track it all when you've got money in different coins and different pools and different masternode services?
So all four of them, all right, all four of them, you can go in and see what you have.
Right.
So all you need is your link that you go in, and you can go right in, you know, to PickAxe. PickAxe, what they actually do on the Discord is when you're a member that has a shared masternode, you become, they set up a private Discord for only the people that's in that masternode.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you can actually, and they share the link, so you can go look at the masternode whenever you want. Right. So, you know, I do have an Excel spreadsheet to tell me where everything's at.
Yeah.
But I can go to each four of those websites and actually click on it and manage my account.
That's quite interesting. That's quite, yeah, I think that's a good idea. And I also like the idea that you can talk to other people in that have, you know, that are in the same situation, that have invested in the same coin, because you're more, you know, you want to go in and say what's the current status of Zen and the secure nodes and all that, and someone else is, well, forget about that. I want to talk about Acroma. I want to talk about Jin. It's good that they're bringing people together. So this looks like a good option if you want a Zen supernode.
And I'm actually to see Terry B's comment about Sierra by any chance, right? That was the coin that everybody's closed down.
Oh, right, okay. I didn't know what that reference was. Yeah, I didn't know what he was referring to there.
Yeah, that's the first one I stepped in, and I learned the hard way, you know, not to believe all the hype.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I'm stepping back, you know, age before beauty, right? So I've learned, being older, let's not jump in and think everything's yeah. I had to learn, you know, I'm so old, I had to learn what the term moon actually meant. Right. So yeah, and that's terrible for me, because part of my job is in marketing. So I said, what the heck's everybody talking about mooning, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not pulling down my pants. And
it's quite funny though, because it must be, I mean, I remember when I first started looking into cryptocurrency, a lot of people started using terms, and they use it. I mean, I do the same now. You start using terms and you forget that, you know, anyone who, you know, isn't involved in it, they don't know what it means. It's almost like going to like a you know, some sort of sports game, and they're all singing a song or doing something, and you're just like, what's going on here? You know, it's like, it takes a while to realize what everyone's saying.
And to get it slightly off subject on that, I had dinner last Tuesday with some friends, and she's a lawyer, and she's an HR lawyer,
right?
And she shared a document with me about how their law firm is looking at cryptocurrencies for incentives for executives. And what does the law state if it's an ICO, if it's not an ICO, and that end. So
that's cryptocurrency be part of their payment package, then the
payment
bonus or whatever.
And I thought that was, she knew that I was doing some crypto. She knew that we talked about it, but she never saw my rigs.
Right.
So we came back to our house to have some coffee and took them to saw some rigs downstairs, and they went, "Okay, you not just talked about this."
Yeah.
They were impressed with the rigs sitting downstairs. So talking about that. So I think more. We're still in the early phase. People are going to adopt this more and more. When I'm hearing major companies talking about executive compensation and cryptocurrencies, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
So I just think that right now in the market we're bleeding out as GPU miners.
Yeah, we certainly are. That's a nice segue into the next section, by the way, Brad. That's a very good segue into the next section.
That's right. Yeah, because we're going to talk about the squirrel Acorn. Not going to get into the FPGAs. I didn't get an FPGA. I didn't buy into that. I took a wait and see process on that.
Yeah.
Not saying that I would never own one, just a wait and see. But I did jump into the squirrel research. I do have mine on order. All right.
Which one did you order, Brad?
I actually have the 215 on order.
Right.
That and I actually have because of my motherboards, I got an H110 motherboard.
Right.
I bought the X2G.
So you've got is it 215 plus you have, or the 215?
215. I did not go for the plus. I got the 215.
So you've went for the Acorn CLE 215, and you went for the Acorn Nest X2G. So this is the one that's going to give you provides the USB riser. Right, okay. Yeah, because there's one with 4 and there's one with 2. So this one gives you 4 USB riser connections, and it also gives you 2 additional M2 slots.
That's correct. And you got to be careful. This is where this is where the possible people step, not knowing where these things are going.
Yeah.
What you find out is each one of these needs 4 lanes of PCIe Express. All right. Well, if you're using a riser, you can only get half of that up the wires through the USB. All right. So if you're even if you got a 1080 Ti and it's supposed to take it to 100%, from what I understand, you just can't hook one Acorn up to a 1080 Ti, all right, through a riser and think that it's going to be 100%. Right? You end up having to hook 2 1080 Ti's up through the Nest, and you will fully utilize one Acorn.
This is an area that, I mean, it confused me initially. I'll put my hand up to that, and a lot of people where they'll say, okay, how many GPUs per card? And I think the website says, I can even show that in the FAQ page. It says something along the lines of 1, 2, or 4, and you're like, what? It's like.
And mine is I'm going to put 1 Acorn onto the card. I want to see how this works out, right? I didn't want to throw a couple $1,000s at this thing.
Yeah.
Right. But if it does what they say, because mine is I want to do, because right there on their website, if you look down, it says, best is 2 Acorns.
Yep.
I'm just looking one Acorn, 2 GPUs. Best is 1 Acorn per GPU.
Yeah.
you know, for that.
Yeah, for the mining 8 hash, they've got good 1 acorn per 4, better 1 per 2, and then best 2 acorns per GPU. So yeah, that's 4, 2, or 1. And this goes back to what you're saying with PCI Express lanes, because when you're asking the question, you're trying to figure out, should I buy one or should I not buy one? You're like, right, okay, so which one is it? Is it 4? Is it 2? Is it 1?
And I looked at it going, I got an H10 110 motherboard, right? And it has an M2 slot on the board, all right? Well, the M2 slot is an SSD, not an NVE.
Yeah.
Right. So it's an M2 NVE is what you need.
Right.
If you get the M2 SSD, it's not going to work.
I think I've got the Asus Z270A, and I believe it's got 2 M2 slots. As far as I know, I think one's an SSD and the other one can be used for
the NVE.
Yeah, the NVE.
And so
that's how I've got it set up. I've got one as the actual hard drive, and I've got the other one.
And actually, it's a Z270.
Yeah, you can probably see the box behind me, actually.
Yeah, so if you go to the last slide, all right?
That one.
Yeah, actually, I got that one on the last slide.
Oh,
on the PowerPoint presentation, right?
Right, so...
got the Asus Prime Z270, right? And we can talk about how many Acorns you can get on there.
Right, so this is quite interesting for me, because this is obviously the motherboard I've got, and it's got Nest X2G and 215 plus Econ plus 4 GPUs. The other one says empty, so that's the PCI Express slot. So obviously it's got 2 X16s, and then it's got, well, this is where it gets a little bit more confusing with the GPUs on the, well, those are X1s, and I think there's 2 16s.
What you don't want to do is you don't want to put on your PCIe up on the CPU and try to run it through your DMI, because that's going to be the choke point.
Right. Okay.
All right.
I'm trying to see in the manual where it shows me. I think it's 2 X16s. What was it? 3 X16s. But yeah, there's like 4 X1s and the rest are X16s or X1, X8 or something.
That's right. And I took this off their Discord.
Yep.
Somebody had pointed this out. All right, so you can play around with this and figure out what the best solution is for you. All right.
Yours is a little bit different, isn't it?
Say again.
Your sorry to interrupt. The H81, is that the one you've got? That one?
That is similar to mine. I got the H110. All right.
Right.
And what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to put on the CPU side, I'm going to put my Nest. All right. And I'll put my 2 Acorn, I'm going to start with 1 Acorn, and I'll put my 2 GPUs on there. And then I'll just connect the rest of them down below, and they won't be optimized.
Right.
Right.
So to kind of simplify it in idiot speak for people like myself, essentially, if you look at the diagram they've got for the 270A, if you put it directly onto the motherboard on an X16 or even an X1 or whatever, everything, even if you put it in an M2 slot, you put them in the M2 slots, everything is going to have to go via that CPU. Whereas if you put it in the X16 at the top there, that won't be bottlenecked via the CPU, because you can put the Nest there and you'll get double or even more speed through the bandwidth through the lanes. Is that's
correct. And you got to keep in mind, if you're trying to use risers, all right, you're only going to get about half an Acorn through a riser.
Right. Okay. So this is why the X2G has 4 USB risers built into it.
That's right. That's right. You'll be able to take those. If you have 2 Acorns on it, you'll be able to come off with 4 risers, all right, to take it to 4 separate GPUs, so you can fully utilize those Acorns. And that's my understanding. And I don't work for them. Yeah. But that's my understanding from watching from GPU Hoarder and everybody else making comments is they got to keep in mind that you're only going to get half an Acorn through the riser.
Right. So, like I can use my rigs as an example. I've got 8 GPUs on my 270Es. So I've got 8 GPUs. One is via an M2 to a PCI Express riser on the M2 slot. So I think there's 3 X16s and 4 X1s, I believe, or something like that. So I get 7 directly on the motherboard, 1 going through the motherboard, but it's through an M2 slot. But what I could do if I got 2 of those X2Gs, someone in my position, I could put an X2G in each of those ones and have 4 USB risers going through and run all 8 GPUs. Instead of going directly through all the X1s, I would put it through the X16s. And then because they're Acons as well, they're accelerated as well, aren't they? If they're going through those USB risers. Is that right? In comparison to a normal riser, if you put it through an Econ that has a USB riser, are you getting increased bandwidth, or is that more to do with?
You'll get the increased hash rate.
That increase,
right?
because I think
the Acorn is going to relieve some of the duties off the GPUs.
Right.
Right. So that's where we get into, which one is going to be what's the best situation for us, right? When I bought mine, I didn't realize I was going to, if I had to do it again, I would have got the 101. Yeah. But I still like to be able to mine the X16R algorithm for the future.
The 101's just 8 hash and
8 hash, right?
And does it do Kryptonite as well? I think it does. Yeah, Kryptonite as well.
All right, but knowing where I'm going with my mining operation, I would have bought the 101, but I bought the 216 because I want that flexibility.
Yep.
Especially for testing purposes.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. The 16, the 215 plus, you can do the solo mining with it also, and that didn't interest me. All right. But again, I think where everybody's going to make the mistakes, and what I've seen people talking on the Discord making the mistakes, and they're trying to correct it as best they can, is how much of the Acorn can you get up through that USB riser is where people are going to run into the issues. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I had bought it as well, I would have probably bought wrong. I wouldn't have bought the right one, because what I probably would have done would be buy one of the Acons and just stuck it into the M2. But like you said, because of the way the diagram suggests here, if you put it directly into the M2, everything has to go through the CPU. So
actually, on that diagram of the 215, it would actually, if you put it on your M2s, it would accelerate the four GPUs that you have on that side of the DMI. So you would be okay.
Was it still not bottlenecked by the CPU, or would it be okay?
No, because it's not going back up through the CPU. It's staying on the bottom half of the DMI.
Oh, right, okay, right.
So you would have been fine, right?
I can see where people get confused with this, because like every time I think, would I have to buy the X2G? Would I not have to buy it?
Yeah, and like I said, I know with mine, with the 110, right, the H110, I quickly figured out, one, I couldn't use my M2, all right? And then I said, okay, if I can't use my M2, I started looking at other ones. I looked at the Z170.
Yeah.
And said, okay, and a lot of the Z170s, and it's a $70, $80 motherboard today. All right. I said, do I scrap my motherboards and get different motherboards?
Yeah.
Right. Or do I try this, X2, the Nest, the X2G, and see how this actually works out for me. Right. So my plans are, is that I got 3 rigs. I'll probably end up buying Nest for each one. So I'll have 4 of my GPUs. It's, each rig is 6 GPUs.
Right.
All right. So I have 4 of them accelerated and 2 not.
Have you got NVIDIA and AMD? Is it mostly, have you just got NVIDIA cards or AMD?
I have all my AMDs on one rig and all my NVIDIAs on another.
Because looking at their table, the return on the AMD cards look, you know, a lot better as far as the returns, the improvement you get from it.
That's correct.
Not for any 8 hash, but for, you know, x16 ARM lighter 2 Rev 2. Seems a lot better.
Exactly. And when I look at that chart going, if I can get anything, especially, and what I understood was the power requirements.
Yeah.
Right. I think everybody messes up what I understand is everybody's messing up on reading the power requirements. That when it says it's 10 or 15%, right? Yeah, they should have said minus. So it's actually going to reduce your GPU load by 10 or 15%.
Well, that's the thing, because if you look at the table, it says down to 60% with special tuning, 75% with official tools. But then for lighter 2 Rev, it says plus 22%. It's one of those things. I do think they've done a good, you know, their website is pretty good as far as explaining something which is quite complex. But I think for anyone buying it, you know, I've got experience building GPUs, but even myself, when I looked at all this, I was like, there seems to be so many variables and so many different options. And, you know, I think it can put off a lot of people as far as what is the best setup to buy. See, going back to what we were talking about earlier, Brad, see, we were talking about, you were saying that, you know, GPU mining, and, you know, how it affects masternodes and where the market is going. When you were buying this, did you consider alternatives? As far as, should I put my money into an ASIC miner? Should I put it into another masternode? Should I just give this a try? Should I be looking at selling my GPUs and not buying more?
So I took the approach of what could I afford? Where did I want to put my money?
Yeah.
And where my sink cost is already. So I already sank my money into GPUs. All right. I looked at the regular, and I'll be quite honest, I'm glad that I didn't buy an FPGA yet.
Yep.
Right. A standalone. You know, they're back ordered now due to some supply issues.
They're quite expensive, the one. They're thousands of dollars.
They're thousands of dollars. I took the wait and see. I haven't seen all the bit streams that they have for them yet. They just look like they're not market ready, in my opinion. Not to say that, hey, come October, I'm going to have a FPGA downstairs running it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I just don't think they're market ready. Right. I think the Acorn was a safer bet that, okay, it's only a few $100s that I put out, and maybe it's not market ready at launch, you know, with everything without hiccups. And there's going to be hiccups.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, anything that you do, I mean, you know, anything that you try to build, you're going to run into hiccups, and you just got to accept it that, hey, this wasn't as smooth as, you know, it's just like when the first GPU miner started mining years ago. It wasn't as smooth as it is today.
Yeah.
And you're going to see improvements.
Well,
right.
On that subject, one of the things that, you know, I think these things have a lot of potential, and I think for a long-term GPU miner, if you buy the right cards with the right setup, it could be very, very good and very profitable. But one of the things that a lot of people were discouraged from was the fact that right now you have to use their official software for mining. I think they're going to go to perhaps the developers of Claymore, CC Miner, all these different mining applications, and then try and get support for it. But at the moment, I believe, I don't know if that situation has changed, but at the moment it's still only the official software.
It's still the only official software. I do believe I read on Discord that Christy, which is, oh my God, a girl,
yeah,
is going to somewhat launch or give out the Ethereum pill for the RX cards and the 1060s, 1070s, but I might be mistaken, but I could have sworn that I saw a little statement that, because right now the enlargement pill is only for the 5X memory.
Yeah,
right?
1080 and 1080 Ti's.
Right, but they have enlargement pills for others. They've been trying to figure out how they can secure it.
You're right.
From everybody and their brother has it. I think that I'm speculating that we're going to find that they have a decent miner.
Yeah.
Right. And that it's going to have other things already included in it. The enlargement pill we know is already going to be included in it. I know that on their Discord, oh my God, a wizard has been to Squirrel, right? So, you know, we know that people have actually from Minority have been there, right? So, not this say that, you know, I got high hopes for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the Minority is the hosting service, isn't it?
Minority is the hosting service. When recently I said, okay, if I'm going to spend $10,000 and get into more cryptocurrency mining, I looked at Minority as some place to invest my money.
Yeah.
All right. I held back. I didn't do it. My next move is I probably will upgrade my power downstairs to run more here at the house.
Yeah.
All right. I already have the permit. I can run more GPUs downstairs. I just don't have the power to the house.
Was that more of a stumbling block for you rather than electricity cost? Because I believe that's one of the biggest selling points as far as...
I have solar panels on the house.
Okay.
But the solar panels can't keep up. My base load of my GPUs almost outrun my solar panels at peak.
Right. This is why you have to pay that electricity bill.
And part of my old job is I used to be an energy auditor. So I totally get the whole, I sit there with my kilowatt meter going, all right, how do I get these things running lower? How do I reduce my power? Right. I know my whole house, I actually have a graph. I know exactly every second what my house is pulling for KW.
Right.
All right. It came with my solar panels.
Right.
All right. So I know what my solar panels are making. I know what I'm using.
What's your strategy with GPU mining for that? Obviously, I think every GPU miner, they tweak their MSI afterburner settings and they try and get the power down. Do you always try and aim for, I know it's different for every algorithm, but do you try and aim for 55, 60 or 65%? Like, what do you try and get each card down to?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I am at, especially my 1080 Ti's.
Yeah.
I'm at 68% on my power limit setting.
Yeah.
All right. Because when I go to 67, I get a huge drop off on my hash rate.
Right. So you've sat there and went to every percent and noticed.
I went percent by percent down, and I got some of them at 66.
Yeah.
Some of them at 68, and I've stepped them each one of them down to the lowest power rating that I can get before I see my hash rate drop.
And that's with Ethereum, with 8hash.
With Ethereum, and right now I have every GPU I own on Ethereum. Even my 1050 2 gig,
yeah,
is mining Pearl right now because the files can still be ran on a 2 gig GPU.
Cool. So I think, in comparison, I think my 1080 Ti's. Well, I did a video about this. People were helping me. I've got my 1080 Ti's at 60% power, core clock plus 75, and then memory clock plus 700 or so, 700 to 750. But again, it could come down to each card as well.
Yeah. So what's your hash rate?
On
a 1050 Ti or a 1080 Ti?
Right. If I can just now, I'll try and bring this up. Okay, where are we? Window capture. See if I can get this. Where is this? See if I can show this. Where's Awesome Miner? Where are you?
Yeah, see, and I was a big Awesome Miner guy at the beginning, right? I actually do everything with command lines.
Really? Oh, so you're going back to using bat files and...
Yeah, I went right back to the bat files, and I do everything on the command line.
So I've just actually covered your face there by accident. Right, I'll put it in the middle here.
And I've actually gotten to the point that I can actually overclock via command line.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So yeah, I mean, I played around with it. I like Awesome Miner, but I just went back to running the bat files, especially if I have a power outage.
Yeah.
All right. Because my miners will come back up. It'll restart my bat files, and off it goes.
Have you not tried any of the kind of hosted Linux systems like Hive OS or SMOS or anything like that? Or
well, I'm kind of waiting for the Squirrel software to come out before I start, and hopefully they launch the software before they launch the Acorns.
Yeah.
Because I am thinking about going to Hive OS, right? Yeah, and my problem I have right now is I use TeamViewer.
Yeah.
So I'm upstairs. I don't have to go downstairs. I can just bring up TeamViewer on my computer, and I can watch what everything's doing. All right.
Well, through Hive OS you can. There's like a terminal and all that as well.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten that far, and that's just a call it lazy Windows user, right?
No, I mean I've still got one rig on Windows. I think I've got my power limit at 60%, core at 75, and then the memory clock at 725. But looking at the terminal, I'm getting one error every so often that one of the rigs that says make sure you don't overclock it. So I don't know if that's a warning that I should dial one of them down, maybe to 700 or so. But you can see there I'm getting 52, 51, 54, 54, okay. 53.
I probably need to go back downstairs and try. And I had the same problem. I actually dialed mine down because I was getting warnings.
Yep.
All right. And I've actually had them resetting and stuff like that. So I know my core clock is like 10, 15. And my memory is like at 675. I probably can get more on my memory, but
yeah,
it ran for 2 weeks and I haven't touched it. So
well, there's a lot to be said that if it's working, don't touch anything. You know,
that's right. I mean, and I'm getting ready. And I think one of them's getting 54 on my hash rate. That's and good. I just noticed as I start stepping down that just that 1 percentage point. And some cards are higher than other cards. That one more percentage point on will take it's running 53, 52. Next thing I know, I'm down to like 47.
Yeah. But a lot of it does depend on the exact card that you've got, because some cards, like the cards that I've got, they're really overclocked right out the box. So like my 1060s, I can get the memory up to like 950 because out the box they're not overclocked at all. You know what I mean? Yeah. But for my 1080 Ti's, I can't get that high. It just starts crashing.
And I got a 1060 gigabyte downstairs with 3 fans on it. And I swear that thing's never gotten over 50 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah, I crank it up as high as I can, and I can't get the thing to get warm. All right, so.
That's good. It's obvious. Well, I mean, have you got any fans there or anything cooling it or what?
I do have. I'm one of the box fan guys, right? So I got a box fan sitting behind it, blowing the hot air into the basement.
I tried that, but I thought the one that I bought was so noisy, it was insane. It honestly sounded like an airplane taking off.
And I know in the wintertime, I know you're overseas, so I know my basement or my cellar, right, usually sits at 11 degrees. 11 degrees Celsius during the wintertime. Yeah. So hopefully this warms it up, right?
Yeah.
So
well, that's the thing, because like I think I started mining about the same time as you, November, December, 2017, and in winter it was amazing. It was so good having all this warm air in the room, but then when summertime came, it was a nightmare. And this is when I started dialing down the cards, and I started looking more into efficiency.
And now I'm doing more and more on the power end.
Yeah.
Right. And seeing how low I can take it, keep my hash rate up.
Yeah.
Right. And lower I can get it, the better I can, more efficient I can get.
I saw someone saying, I'll see if I can get the link. I'm going to try and do a video on this. I don't know if you've heard of NVIDIA Inspector. It's like another little script, But someone said that if you use that rather than something like MSI Afterburner, you can get a few more souls, a few more, you know, hash rate out of each one. I've not tried it yet, but I can send you a link to that. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. But it's interesting. It's not something I've even thought about, whether, you know, by modifying the GPUs or overclocking them via the, you know, via a DOS window or via MSI Afterburner or via whatever. I don't know how much that changes that.
Yeah, I love the comment about the Antarctica, right?
Yeah, how Antarctica will save Bitcoin mining. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got up your clickbait game. Yeah, that's true. I don't do enough clickbait on this channel. I need to change that. Actually, I'll just, when this goes online, I'll just say, click here for 1 Bitcoin donation or something, or one Bitcoin giveaway. That always gets people in. No, it's interesting what you're saying with efficiency. This is how, you know, as far as you're saying you're only mining 8 hash anymore, I've been switching between 2 or 3 different algorithms. Lyra2Z, which is the summer algorithm, Equihash 1445 and Ethereum. But I do find before, you know, see when the market was better and the prices, you know, it was almost at the point daily returns were so good, you weren't actually worrying about electricity costs because, you know, the profits were so big that you're worrying more about getting, you know, extra coins. But it's different now, because now it's about more efficiency. So I'm kind of focused on just a few algorithms, and I tweak them to the level I'm like, right, I'm that below the point of the whole system crashing. This is efficient. I won't touch it anymore.
And that's why I'm personally starting to look at, because if I look at where Asics are coming in, and I'm with everybody else, you're not going to, if an ASIC miner wants to be developed for it, they can. Yep. X16R is not going to be ASICs proof. They're going to figure that out. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we know it's coming.
Yeah.
All right. They've got ASICs out for Ethash. They're not that much more efficient. And actually, I will argue that with my hash rate on my 1080 Ti's, all right, that I already own, all right, and my power, I'm better than they are.
Yeah.
Right.
I found this. I found the same. I think the Bitmain one is the E3 is at 190. But
yeah.
What's the price of it again? Is it like $1,300 or something?
$1,200, $1,300. It's
and at that price, I think you'd be better buying some GPUs with some resale value.
Yeah, you know, and I already got the equipment. If I was new coming into the game, I might buy an ASIC.
Yeah.
Right. But I already had the GPUs, and I'm sitting there going, if I have to choose an algorithm that is efficient for GPU miners against the ASICs, Ethash has it right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I think there is talk of, in Silicon are bringing out one that's like, I can't remember if it's like 500, 600 and more. There's a few others being developed. I saw a news story. One's going to be over 1,000. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a game changer, but.
But even 1,000, right now they're going to, you know, be slightly better than a GPU. It's going to be 2x.
Yeah. It's
not 10.
Well, the ones that I saw, I can't remember if it was in Silicon, but they do offer several hundred or 1,000 megahash per second, which is like, you know, 1,000 would be like 20 1080 Ti's, but they're essentially like a big water-cooled PC system that costs $6,000. And at that price, you know, you'd be leaning more towards buying GPUs that are a little bit more versatile, you can sell on, and, you know, resale value and all that.
My question is, who's getting into mining at this point?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the cost of getting into it, the barriers to entry are starting to come up.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not going to see people buying, or some people will, but I don't think you're going to see people buying a whole lot of ASIC miners.
Well,
right.
I had a discussion about this. I did a video about how mining returns right now are terrible and depressing, basically. But a few people said, well, I'm just accumulating coins. But I think a lot of people forget that, you know, if you just focus on accumulating coins, if your profits are only 50 cents a day per card or something like that, or less than that, then why not sell the cards, use the money, buy the coins, and
get into a masternode or something, right?
Or masternode, or even just sit on the coins and wait down the line and just put the money in the bank to buy. I think a lot of people forget that you always have to look at the alternative to actually, just selling your cards, getting the funds in, and buying the coins, especially when the returns are so low. But I think, obviously everything gets flipped on its head if we enter a bull run. All of a sudden, your GPUs, which were going down in price, will start doubling in price, and there's going to be a shortage again, and it'll be insane.
I don't think we'll ever go into a shortage like we did in the past. All right.
Yeah.
At least on the 1080 Ti's and those cards, because NVIDIA is going to come out with their new card. All right. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of miners buying them.
Yeah.
Some will for test purposes, right? But I know I'm not going to upgrade my systems to it. By the time you do the CapEx and your OpEx, right? I keep on going back to, I like Seth. He talks about it, but he doesn't get into all of it, right? I got to have my OpEx taken care of, all right? So my operating expenses have to be paid every month.
Yeah.
All right. I might not be making profit, but at least my operational expenses are paid for.
Yeah.
I didn't know who has the money that can run, I think my total power is $180 is what I'm paying a month just to run my GPUs. 180 and a couple cents. All right. I got to pay that every month. I'm not, I refuse to say, oh, I'm just going to put all these coins in my little pot, right? And, hopefully for the good, it's going to come back. No, I got to pay that every month. So I got to sell those coins every month. Right.
Well,
but then I take all the rest and I hodl everything else.
That's the thing, this year I've not deposited any crypto, but I've not cashed out any to fiat either. And the kind of strategy that I put, all this year, and since I started mining, was my electricity costs more or less are fixed, unless I tweak things and all that, but they're more or less fixed every month. And the way that I saw it was, right, I'm going to pay the electricity fees every month, from other profits, and then just keep the coins that I want. In hindsight, if I hadn't did that, if I just cashed out at the time, financially be in a better position. I have to put my hand up and admit that that was a mistake. But it's one of those things, again, it's hindsight, because if the market had swung a different direction, I guess I took a gamble in many respects and said, well, I'm holding these coins long term. But then, I held coins like Bitcoin private, which are like under $4 now. So there's things like this, you wouldn't envision how much coins have dropped. Even Bitcoin Gold I saw today, that was close to $100 at the start of the year. Now it's sitting at like $20. So every coin has been decimated price-wise. And it's hard to sometimes see how hard the market can be hit when you're at the top of the top of the curve. But in the same token, when things change, obviously you don't know how quickly it can go the other way. But I do think, I guess what you've did in comparison to me is perhaps a more sensible approach, a more safer approach. And I think in 2018, that's paid off for you rather than what I did.
It has, as long as I'm meeting my operating expenses, right? I'm still collecting all those other coins, and I'm still putting them in shared masternodes, and helping the cryptocurrency economy, all right? But I'm covering my expenses, right? Yeah. As an operational standpoint.
Yeah, it's a smart move. It is a smart move.
And again, since I run it as a business, all right, trust me, I'm speaking from experience on this, but I'm not an accountant or a lawyer or anything else, right? I've found that if I cover my operational expenses, since I'm in the United States, I'm going to file a Schedule C, right? I end up there's more opportunities for my write-offs, right? And I'm going to I'll tell you, I'm taking my GPUs and it's a 3-year straight line depreciation.
Yeah.
Right. When you start running this as a true business, right, I'm going to say in crypto, I made $0 this year.
Yeah.
Right. Even though I made money, right, but on paper, I'm going to be very close to zero.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the cost of, the actual value of all your hardware has
that's so right. Much. Because a lot of people probably are capitalizing their hardware, where I took a 3-year straight line depreciation, which allows me a little more flexibility. So I write off a third of them this year, a third of them next year, and a third of them the following year.
Yeah, just run them into the ground, basically.
And I'm going to run them into the ground. Everybody goes, "Oh, resale value." Come on, how many? I thought I saw this someplace else. How many GPU miners actually resold their GPUs? Right?
Yeah,
and there's some. I mean,
I think if you're going to sell, January, February was the time to sell.
That's right.
I bought new because the 1080 Ti's I bought. The first one was $750. I paid right up to £900 for it. It was insane. But even when it was at $750, people were selling it second hand at $700 with used. People would always say never used for mining, only open, never been used. Yeah, come on. And people were paying like £50 or $50 less than the actual retail value, which kind of baffled my mind. But that showed you what it was like. And now the used market is very, very different. We're getting more bargains, but the reason it's a bargain is because Asics, FPGAs, shared masternodes, and all these other things. There's so many different options now. Do you would you if you had an opportunity to sell it, would you sell GPUs? Would you the reason I'm saying this is one of the main reasons, if I'm honest, one of the reasons I wouldn't sell my GPUs right now is because of the hassle. It's because of the hassle. It's easier to just keep them there running and ticking over than it is to try and find 30 different buyers for my cards.
So would I sell my GPUs?
If you had someone locally, cash on the table, no inconvenience, no worrying about chargebacks or anything like that with PayPal or eBay. They gave you whatever the going rate is. Maybe for I don't know what the going rate is in America. Maybe 10. What's a 1060? Like $250. If they offered you $150.
No, I'm not going to sell.
Right.
I believe in the currencies. I believe that you can run GPUs efficiently for mining. That they haven't bled me out. I think we're in the worst part of the market right now.
Yeah, we certainly are.
And half of my hash rate is going to pay for my OpEx.
Yep.
And the other half of my hash rate is collecting coins.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to 90% of my hash rate is going to pay for electricity, right?
Yeah.
Then yes, I would, right? But right now, everybody's it's terrible. Well, shoot, 50% of my stuff is going into, hodling coins. So how bad really is it?
Well, I think there's a big disparity as to how profitable GPU miners are, depending on where they are and how much they pay. If you're going to the what to mine, any kind of crypto calculator, and you change the electricity cost, I don't know what you're paying in the UK. US dollar equivalent wise, we're paying about $0.18 per kilowatt. And there's people in other European countries where it's 30 or 40. And I saw some people talking about this, and I said, well, I'm going to just keep my GPUs mining. And they said, I've just switched mine off. So they've decided to switch it off. They're not selling, but they've decided to just switch it off, maybe for a few weeks or a month until the prices are better. But,
and that's correct. So I'm paying right now, I'm paying 9 cents a kWh, right? Which is fairly cheap.
Yeah.
Right. But I know I have colleagues in California that are paying 40 cents a kWh.
Is that wow? That's a big difference.
Yeah, they can't run. There's no way that they can run this. So mine is as long as I'm still running, and I'm not paying 19, 20 cents a kWh.
Yeah,
it's still profitable for me.
Yeah.
And then if I ran into that, I would look at minority, because they're setting up their operations where they can capitalize on lower energy cost.
Yeah, I think, is it Eastern Europe or
Eastern Europe is where
I
understood they had some pictures of some of their sites, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
are you okay with that, as far as not physically owning the GPU, not having it in your hand? Are you okay with it, being elsewhere?
Through the correct channels, yes.
Yeah. Because there's obviously some parallels as to, sending money to minority and sending money to a shared Masternode service, as far as you don't have the coins in your wallet, you don't have the card in your home,
That's correct. And I would put minority as a class act, from what I've been able to tell.
Yep.
Right. So I don't think that my money would disappear.
Yep.
Right. And I think that it's just like squirrel. I think David is a class act. I don't think that, anybody's going to have problems with them. Again, I don't know them personally. Right. But just watching how they interact with people, you try to treat people the way that you want to be treated. And so far, what I can tell, both groups treat people the way that they would want to be treated.
Well, it goes back to what you were saying earlier on, as far as, putting a face to a project and having trust in them. Someone actually, the first time someone introduced minority was someone who was watching the stream, and they said, check out minority. And I checked it out, and my first response was, that must be a scam. Because
I watched your video.
Yeah, because I've seen Genesis mining and all these other cloud mining services that tie into 3-year contracts and all that, and I was like, oh, I'm not going near that. But I guess you've seen so many scams in the cloud. Cloud mining seems to be one of the areas where a lot of these scammers were trying to make money, and I've seen some criticism as in some of them don't even have hardware. They're just using it like a Ponzi scheme and just paying out, taking money from Peter to pay Paul. But when I saw the way they were selling that with the little boxes with the year contracts, I was like, yeah, that's a little bit suspicious. But once I've looked into it, they do seem like a legit company.
They seem to be legit. Now I will, if you couldn't tell, I do have an East Coast accent.
Yep.
And I know where Lewis, Delaware is, where they set up their LLC, right? And I had a little. I will say I laughed a little bit. I said, that's like a law firm that they set that up through. That's not where their operation is. So they're using that as a
it's like people use umbrella companies. They put it in the Bahamas.
Yeah, it's an umbrella company. It's an LLC. It's a legit organization.
Yeah.
And I know why they picked Delaware, because Delaware has the correct. I'm originally from Delaware.
Yeah. So my friends talked to me about this before. He's involved. I think he's actually in IT, but he said that he was in one of, I can't remember if it was the Bahamas or something like that. And he says that basically there's just like huts, and it's just a mailbox, and there's nothing but a mailbox. And it's like the HQ on paper for companies that are worth trillions, like billions, like huge. And it's really just because of tax laws and all these other things.
That's correct.
And obviously, I think in the cryptocurrency world, there's some parallels as to what's happened in the gambling world, as far as gambling companies registering in in Cyprus, Malta, Gibraltar in Europe. You see a lot. I think in the USA, there's a couple of Caribbean islands where they register their head office there. And I think most cryptocurrency companies, if they see a lot of pressure and from a political or tax point of view, they'll start setting up companies, maybe in Switzerland or maybe somewhere else.
And I work for a big company, and we were based in the United States, but we're now in Ireland, so I fully get the tax law.
Yeah, that's what Apple is in Europe, and I think they actually claim cash back because billions of dollars of sales, and they can't generate a profit. And so there's but if I was going to get in crypto, if I had
$10,000 today, I would look at an Asics. I wouldn't buy GPUs if I was going to. Put it like this: if I was going to buy an FPGA with everything that I've seen so far now on FPGAs, I might buy it through a minority and have them host it.
Yep.
Right. They make all those headaches their headaches.
Well, again, yeah. I mean, and this is the thing. You know, this is, you know, we're saying we are to physically hold a card in your hand, but it's, again, parallels with shared masternodes. There's a lot to be said about letting someone else manage it, manage the pools, manage the technical aspect of it, optimizing it. You know, we had a discussion there about PCI Express lanes and all these other things. You could just, like, you handle that. I'll just pick what coins I want to mine.
That's correct. I mean, there's something to be said for their services. I mean,
yeah,
and they should make some money off of it, right? Yeah. But at the same time, I want to make money, right?
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this out of my goodwill, but it's. You gotta start picking class acts, and so far, those two seem to be a class act. We can go down through some coins; they seem to be class acts.
Yep.
All right. So
it's almost, for me, it's almost annoying that there was so many scams in the cloud mining, and the cloud mining sector, because for me, I love the idea of masternodes and shared masternodes and hosted cloud services. I like the flexibility of owning my GPUs and deciding if I need the money, I'll sell them, and I'm not tied into a 1, 2, or 3 year contract. But long term, you know, I don't want to be on holiday and I'm like, oh no, I need to log on to TeamViewer and sit for 3 hours trying to tweak a rig, or then phoning up a friend and saying, well, once switch on, can you go around and turn it on and off? You know, that kind of thing. You know, there's a lot to be said about, I don't have hardware anywhere. I sit with a laptop. I manage it from there. I'm remote. Especially, I think, when you get to a certain point with GPUs, you know, 40, 50, 100 GPUs, it's like a full-time job. You can't leave, you know, you have to start planning ahead whenever you go anywhere. So I've always enjoyed traveling. So I've always thought about that. Or would this be a pain if I was going away for a few weeks? Or so this is how services like Minority, or perhaps just going down the shared masternode route that we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of appeal to me in that, as far as, you know, how I do it. The alternative as well to that, you know, people forget about buying HashPower on NiceHash and just only mining when you've got enough.
You had to bring up those people.
But the thing is, it is a legit strategy. I think I'm more kind of leaning towards, I like mining rig rentals as far as how it works, as far as mining a service.
I've had my rig set up through them, and I have rented my rigs out through them.
Yep.
And mining rig rentals is a legit organization that you can rent HashPower. I've actually rented my rigs, and I have bought HashPower through them.
I've never rented my rigs, but I have bought. You know, I've spent a bit of money there buying.
Yeah,
HashPower.
so it is legit. NiceHash is when I started with NiceHash.
Yeah,
I did not get caught up in their whole scandal of getting, you know.
Yeah, I was the same. I think I started just afterwards.
Right. I was actually in right before, but I wasn't using NiceHash.
Yeah.
Right. What I don't like about NiceHash is the way that they have limits on their Bitcoin payouts, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Right. That's just not the way that I would want to do business.
Like, so for me, I think NiceHash is a good place to buy HashPower, but I'd rather mine Ethereum and sell Ethereum than, you know, than just mine. But a lot of people, they don't want that. There was a good comment there from Roderick. We've missed a lot of the comments recently, but Roderick had a good comment there. He said the bad part about hosting is that you learn nothing. It's
that, you know, Roderick, that is a very, I see that comment. That is right on. Because I've had GPUs and because I've stepped in it, just like you had, I've had to call my wife to go downstairs and tell her to hit the little button, right? You know, I've showed her how I've gotten it to the point that, and I've streamlined the whole organization of, all right, if you hit the little button, everything will come back up online automatically.
Yeah.
All right. And that's worked out for me well. I can get back on the team viewer to make sure everything's working.
Yeah.
Right. But sometimes the computers don't automatically restart after a power outage. And,
I mean, Windows can be set up. It's normally like Windows Defender and updates and all that, but you can streamline a lot of the apps that, come online.
Yeah.
I do understand where Roderick's coming from here. It's a valid point. I think that I kind of threw myself in the deep end. I thought, right, I want to learn it all. I want to test pools. I want to, I don't want to just mine one coin for 7 months. I want to try different coins, different algorithms, tweak my GPUs. But I think there's a lot to be said that once you understand it all, well, then you're in a position to pick and choose whether you do it yourself or you do it hosted. Because if you do it hosted and you understand it, you can pick and choose when to mine a coin as well, as far as taking advantage of certain situations as well.
And I fully agree. If you're maybe not a miner or have stepped in it, all right. I keep on saying stepped in it because I've burnt up a GPU, right?
Oh, really?
Totally fried it, right? Yeah, so I've stepped in it, right? I guess you can't do that, right? So, so there is a learning curve that needs to be learned, all right? So,
I think I do get with what Roderick's saying though, but going back to what we were saying earlier, we kind of touched upon this with masternodes. I haven't hosted a masternode yet. I like the idea of having at least one, playing around with it, checking out, the configuration, the parameters, messing about with it, getting an understanding of how it works. But long term, I need to look at the time it takes me to manage a masternode, as opposed to just giving someone 2.5% or 3% or whatever the fee is, and saying,
yep,
you take care of all that. I'll just, manage the pools, or manage my coins and manage whether I reinvest the coins or cash out. I do think, I do agree with it. I think that is a good point what Roderick's saying, because I discourage anyone from just sticking on nicehash their whole life and just going start mining, stop mining. I think you have to have a good understanding of this to make the most money, to get an understanding of miners, how they work and all that. But once you do have a general understanding, well, there are benefits to hosted services. You have to look at the benefits to it. There's a lot of benefits, as you say, handing money over to minority and saying, you deal with all that. I don't have the time. I'll just, manage the pools or manage the coins.
That's correct. Especially with the FPGA that's now coming out.
Yeah.
All right. Just watching, what's the guy's YouTube, the technicals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's got one and he's struggling to get that thing running.
Yeah.
All right. Due to temperatures. All right. So watching this stuff, and that's why I didn't go buy a whole series of Acorns. I think they're going to work.
Yeah.
All right.
But there's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be a learning curve.
It's going to be a learning curve. And that's why I didn't buy. If I was going to maximize my system, I need 6 Acorns and 3 Nest.
Yeah.
I didn't spend that much money.
Yeah.
All right. Just because I'm, maybe I'm conservative. But right now, I think I saw
nothing wrong with that in this environment.
yeah, and we probably watch the same YouTube channels. I think Vaz from Vaz Coin said that he wouldn't jump into, being conservative, buying GPUs, right? I mean, if you watched him, he sold a lot of his stuff. He's scaled back his operations.
Yeah.
Right. But I can tell you, I know that he's running shared, not shared, but he's running secure nodes.
Yeah.
On Zencash. He's been a big Zencash guy for years, or for the year, right? So, a day in crypto is what, a week in real world?
More than that. Yeah. Like if the amount of news that you see over the course of a week, and the amount of, things change, the the announcement of one ASIC miner, one FPGA, and it sends all these different coins and projects into disarray, and they need to change everything. And
and maybe I'm being a little more skeptical than others. I think that I'm moving myself away from all these different projects and going to come down to, okay, I'm going to mine one algorithm. I'm going to get as efficient as I can. All right. Talking to you, maybe I need to go back in and maybe I'll change, and maybe I'll boost up my my core clock a little bit and see if I can't lower my power limits a little bit more.
Yep.
All right. Keep my hash up there. But then get efficient as I can, and stay with the master nodes. Now that I've played around with some of the shit coins, right? I'm going to personally, I'm going to go take what I got and put it towards the 3 or 4 projects, right, that are what I consider legitimate projects, right?
Yep.
Now that I've stepped in it, right? And hopefully people that are watching this are learning, Masternodes, shared Masternodes aren't the answer to everything, right? But it's a good entry into the Masternode world, right? I wouldn't go spend all my money and throw it into a Masternode or a shared Masternode, all right? But now that I've played with it, I would have no problem about buying some Zencash and throwing it in there. Right.
That's definitely going to be a big part of my strategy over the next few months, as far as finding coins that I can mine for a week or two, getting, like you were saying, you're trying to get at least 10% of the cost of a masternode as far as what your share you will get.
Yep.
Doing that, getting a certain number of coins, and then okay, another project that I like, I'll maybe mine towards that. For a coin like Zencash, the strategy would be mine Ethereum or mine Ethereum Classic, cash out on an exchange, Binance or whatever, and then buy Zencash and then send your coins to one of these shared Masternode services. Very, very interesting. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's great conversation that we're having. I mean, hopefully people are learning that, not all, I've learned a little bit from you today, and hopefully I've shared some stuff with the community out there that, what I've learned, right?
Oh, you've been fantastic, Brad. It's been great having you on. Does anyone have any questions for Brad before we tie this up? I'll just kind of go over quickly what we've talked about today. I'll show you the browser. So Brad was kind enough. He did a presentation and he showed lots of different websites that he uses. And there'll be links to this underneath the video when the video is streamed online later, when it's processed by YouTube. He's talked about Crypto Hash Tank, MyNode.rocks, Alt Tank, and PickAxe. So I'll leave links to all these different services, and you can check them out. And we've also touched upon the Squirrel Research Acorn products. If you get any questions for Brad before we tie it up, please do post them below. I think we've maybe missed a few questions anyway, Brad. I think there's been a few questions.
Probably.
I always find it hard. It's always hard because you don't want to keep jumping back and forth with people in the comment area because, you're having a discussion.
Especially when we're having good conversations, right? I mean, and I'm sure everybody has good points out there. So. Yeah.
So there's a lot of good, a lot of people have been chatting. Roderick, Surfing, Dia, Richard, Chaos. Thanks for everyone who's been tuning in. Roderick was talking there saying that Vosk is chasing those new NVIDIA cards.
Now, if I had his money, maybe I would too, right?
So we touched upon it earlier on. Would you ever consider launching your own YouTube channel or anything like that? Is it more of a time thing?
It's a time thing. I do have a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
Somebody can find out where I am on LinkedIn. They got my picture. You can find out what I do for a real living, and then somebody's going to go, how can that guy also cryptocurrency mine, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm finishing up my MBA. So between school, a real job, and everything else, I just don't have time to to start a YouTube channel, at least not yet.
Well, you know, I think I speak for most of us here. You've been a fascinating guest today. You know a lot about shared masternodes. This is an area that I'm trying to learn more about, so it's been fantastic speaking to you. From a time perspective, going back to what you're saying with YouTube, see if you've got a phone, get a tripod, a little microphone. You could always do some videos every now and then. Just give your thoughts on a situation if you ever think about doing something like that. But I know from my end, I'd love to have you back on in the future. I'm sure everyone's enjoyed this stream.
Well, thanks for having me. And when there's a subject matter that comes up, I'll reach out to you that we can talk about.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good. We can even get a few people on in the stream. We can all chat together about different things. And so I find it fascinating to speak to people like yourself. You know, firstly because you've obviously got different experience in different areas. You've been following shared masternodes. This is something I'm trying to get into. But also with the acorns, you know a lot more about it than me. But not just that. Even if we had, I guess you could say, equal knowledge on a subject, it's always good to talk to someone else and get their viewpoint on it. Our view on something is always influenced by the articles that we read, the people that we speak to in Discord. And it's always good to maybe reevaluate your opinion on something sometimes, you know. And
yeah, and that's so true, because I can tell you there's nobody in my world that's actually cryptocurrency mining.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like I can pick up the phone and call a friend. Right?
Yeah. There's no lifelines.
Yeah. I'm on Discord. I'm watching what's going on, but at the same time, it's not like I can call a friend to say, "Hey, what do you do here?" Right? You know, how do you increase your profitability? What are you mining today? All right. So it's good to see guys like yourself and some of the other guys out there sharing what they're doing.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Well, there's actually a lot. I mean, even just the people that have tuned in today, there's a lot of other miners out there. Hopefully we could even, if anyone's been watching this stream or watching this later, if you ever want to come on, talk to myself and Brad, we can have a chat about any kind of subject, GPU mining and all that. Once again, I can't thank you enough for this. It's been great talking to you today, Brad. I do appreciate the time you took to get the presentation and all that set up as well, to, you know, highlight what you want to talk about.
It took 5 minutes. I've been watching other guys and they get off subject, and at least I wanted to try to stay on subject, which we've kind of done.
I'm bad for going off on tangents, so it's probably good that you did that. Well, thanks again, Brad. Right. Many thanks. So thanks to everyone who's watched the stream. Please do leave a comment later if you're watching this video. Thanks to everyone who's posted comments. We'll try and get Brad back on today. You know, you obviously know a lot about shared masternodes and mining, so it'd be great to have you on again. Thanks again, Brad, and thanks to everyone who's been watching. So I'm going to stop the stream now, guys. Take care.